Alright. Today I want to talk about, a little chat about mental health. How's my hair? Started having a nice maybe 15k run here in the park. I'm a bit sweaty, as you can see. My hair's probably all over the place. Who cares? Let's just do this. Let's chat on mental health. You know, I haven't really talked about this at all. There was a big breakthrough there the other day on artificial intelligence. I thought I'd get into, and I still look to talking more about that. Talk about these glasses. Can't see much in them anyway. Talk about how the mind works. Mental health. A bit of background on this myself. Don't have any sort of genetic problems, but I did learn a lot about how the mind works through alcohol abuse once. Full on alcoholism. I went mad. I went totally mad. Not like crazy right now. I mean properly panic attacks, crazy anxiety, obsessive thought disorder, OCD. Like I lost my mind. I could feel it. Like you just get that sense. Who am I? I'm changing. It taught me about electrical signals, and how the brain functions, how the body functions, and how it ties in with AI. I want to get to later. This is complicated stuff. This is big stuff. But this is assuming, you know, there isn't some sort of problem. This video is based upon the assumption that there isn't a problem like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or other conditions that people have that are somewhat genetic. We don't really understand it. You know, serotonin might be involved, and that's what I want to talk about today as well. Serotonin, how the mind works, how the body works. Serotonin is very interesting. Very interesting. So serotonin, sounds like I'm saying serotonin. Common name here in Balbriggan. Serotonin is ubiquitous in the living world. It's everywhere. Everything has it. All mammals, all bugs, plant life, it's in everything. And not only is it in everything, let's use ourselves, humans, as an example. Serotonin is in the whole body. So it's everywhere in nature and it's everywhere in the living structure. Using ourselves as an example, it's in our brain, it's in our mouth, it's in our stomach, it's in our intestines, it's in our skin, it's everywhere. So what's it doing? This is serotonin. What's serotonin doing in the body? Right. This is where it ties in mental health. You know, it's used when someone has depression. It's not necessarily the cause of depression, but it is a sort of cure for it. By increasing it in the brain, increases happiness, or well-being, or motivation, whatever. Just a general sense of good. So this is how a healthy, good, active brain functions. This is how it works. And then we'll see how the serotonin ties in with that. Goes round and round functioning brain. Sometimes it goes very slowly around, sometimes it's very calm, sometimes it's even asleep. It's just a constant circling loop like that. Sometimes you might hear some rustle, starts to speed up, and you calm down again. And you're out running, and then you finish running, you come in, you relax, calm down, chill out, watch a movie, go to bed, next day you wake up. It's constantly like that. You're late for work. All these things are regulated. Chased by an animal. You escape from the animal. Get your breath back slowly. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you're hungry. Sometimes you're happy. It's always spinning. And sometimes it could be spinning out here, going kind of faster, after like a long bicycle ride watching a good movie. Or you go to sleep then, and it even gets even slower. Or you're out talking to somebody out in the street. You feel happy, you feel sad. It's just going round and round like that. When you bring serotonin, when that malfunctions, it can lead to things like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, normal functioning brain is all circles, whether it's circles of fear, of danger, circles of happiness, or circles of reaction, but it's always just sort of it's all a bunch of chemicals, highly complicated chemicals and reactions throughout the body which maintains that. You got your GABA receptor in the brain, slows down the firing of the neurons. You got your adrenaline, the adrenal gland, opens up your veins, gets the heart rushing, acts like speed, epinephrine, or whatever the pronunciation of it is. That's your fight or flight response. Cortisol, that's such a hard day at work, catabolic way of dealing with stress. The endorphins, get out a nice long cycle or a run like I've had today. And there are other chemicals and things in there as well. That regulate this behaviour. So, the reason why I pick out serotonin is because it's ubiquitous throughout the body. It's in your tummy, it's in your brain, it's in your skin. It seems to be acting everywhere. The reason how it does this, and the reason why, is specifically that it is throughout nature. It's like it's an electrical control system. It controls the firing of the neurons. It controls it. The current. It's the amount of voltage and it's been a long time since I studied electricity. And the GABA, this is why I mentioned the alcohol. I learned about the GABA. What GABA does, it's almost like a resistor in an electrical circuit. The neurons, the current is coming down, the neurons are firing like crazy in the brain, way faster than you think. Your GABA receptor slows it down, depending on the situation. You know, if you've got a threat, there's danger, it will start firing. The heart rate will have to start going up. Unregulated, without GABA, the brain will start firing current signals down into the body, get what's known as the DTs in alcoholism, the shakes, and you die. You die of a heart attack. The signals will go down to the heart will start running at its maximum pace of 180 beats. After a few hours, you'll get a heart attack and you'll die. That's how the GABA receptor works. What alcohol does, it goes onto the GABA receptor and acts like GABA, this chemical that your brain produces naturally. And when you start using alcohol, what happens is your brain, in order to adapt to the alcohol, because you're walking around the streets or whatever drunk, you're going about your daytime business, drinking and interacting with people, maybe getting in fights and so forth. What the brain does is, in order to stop this idiot from getting himself run over by a car, it stops producing its own GABA. Down regulates its own GABA. Then, when the alcohol is taken out by the liver, what happens then is, you've got no GABA, you've got no alcohol, no resistor in the brain starts running at 100%, starts firing at 100%, all the muscles start twitching, you start seeing spiders and things coming at you, monsters and all sorts of other things, your imagination comes alive, your brain starts running at 100%, you start having panic attacks, your heart starts going at full speed. And this is interesting. I learned directly, that was my experience with alcoholism. It taught me a lot about how the brain works. Well, it's actually going a lot faster. And it changes speed based upon the situation I find itself in. Sometimes the heart rate has to go 180 beats. Sometimes you're getting chased by a tiger. Right? So, let's focus in on serotonin. Belfast Express! Oh, hi there, matey! Well, serotonin. Let's give an example. Let's use two examples of how it works in causing electric currents. One way is it causes the sick mechanism. The sick mechanism. It's also involved in the sleep mechanism. You have to turn on your sleep. It's also involved in pain receptors. There are three good examples. The sleep mechanism, the pain mechanism, and the sick mechanism. The sick mechanism is complicated, but we know what happens in that situation where there's actually a central nervous system down there. Maybe you drink too much alcohol, the liver's sort of like, tummy, I can't take any, I can't deal with any more of this. Stomach's like, crap, what is this? The intestines are sending signals. You've got a central nervous system there on the tummy. What happens is, something bad comes in, serotonin starts secreting into the tummy, goes into that central nervous system there, and when that starts up-regulating, you'll sort of notice your conscience sort of goes down there, you start to feel it, and then that stuff starts turning on a load of switches, muscles, reflexes, and it actually go, right? Pain mechanism. Here's a great example. You ever been stung by a bee? What does it feel like? I'll tell you what it feels like. It feels like electricity. It's like pure electrical strike. It's the smallest electrical strike in the world. Let's just call it that. They say electricity is the food of the gods. It is like God coming into you. The intensity of that pain, that strike, that lightning bolt-like pain. It's like God is holding it's like a little lightning bolt. That's what it's like. These little demons holding tiny little lightning bolt of God. It's like electrical shock therapy. What happens there is the bee sting, that initial pain from the bee sting, what is it? It's serotonin. It's that chemical. That's how it be. That's the initial pain. That's the main pain of the bee sting. That's what gets the nerves, the neurons firing. What happens is, as soon as that goes in there, it increases connectivity. Now I'm sort of chancing it here. I'm chancing it a little bit. It's very, very complex, very, very complicated stuff. People spend many, many years, and I'm just sort of using my intuition. What it does is, as soon as that harpoon of electricity goes in there, it's not actually electricity, it's serotonin, chemical. What it does is it increases the connectivity. And just like being hit by lightning, what happens is, the neurons start firing. The neurons start firing here. They go straight up to the brain. Sleep mechanism, similar sort of thing. It slows down the brain. Again, complicated. It regulates moods. It regulates appetite. It can regulate taste. All these things serotonin does in the body. That's why it's ubiquitous around the body. Involved with vitamin D, so forth. That's pretty much the basis. That's the introduction. You can see how when I'm going home from work for them, you can get the balance of how the bee sting is the best example, the best way of learning that. When you get stung by a bee, you can just really feel the electricity of it. And it's not electricity, it's serotonin. That's that chemical. And that causes some sort of electrical surge to go up. And that's that intense pain. That intense pain. And eventually, when you start getting your head around that, you start getting your head around how what it's doing is regulating the signaling within the body. That's what all these sort of hormones are doing. You start to realise is it's all an electrical component. Your brain is going, or your brain is going slow, or your brain is asleep. It's all sort of in electrical different states. How a proper working brain, body works, responding to its environment, responding to what situation it's in, whether it's in danger, or whether it's totally relaxed, or whether it's eating, or it's having sex. All of those sort of things. It's all going like that. The bee sting really teaches you that. Pain and these feelings and the sleep mechanism and everything. It all has a sort of electrical function. Now, that's a sort of introduction to mental health, and that's where I'm going to leave to with the thinking about the AI. Think about the AI. When is something alive? When is something thinking? When is something conscious? When is something sentient? This AI, we think we're learning about intelligence. We're not learning about intelligence. We're learning about ourselves, a lot of our own illusions about what we are ourselves, what we think we are. We're going to sort of learn them, and they're just going to sort of dissipate away from us. Things like free will, consciousness, and even the sense of self, that you're actually alive. I'm not saying you're not alive. The individual doesn't really live. Nature has permanence, yes. Nature has permanence. The individual doesn't really exist. Start getting our head around that. You start to learn about what AI is, when it comes alive, is it alive, is it sentient. What we're going to be learning is not about AI, not about the computer, not about the ghost in the machine. We're going to be learning about our own sense of self, our own mind, how we work. Remember that, the electricity in the brain. They used to do electric shock therapy, try and fix people. Let's shoot electricity into his brain. How did it work? I don't know, I have no idea. look it up and see any scientific basis for electrocuting people's brains. Feel a lot better now, Doc. Right, that's today's video.